So, hi. Today we will talk about quite a high topic. It's the Web5, and everybody nowadays talk about the Web5. That Web5 is some kind combination of the best things of the Web2 and Web3. And to be honest, I'm a bit confused because I already had a video. Unfortunately, it's available for my Ukrainian audience that I explained what the concept of the Web3 is. Actually, and Web3 it's not the standard. Yeah, it's just a set of concepts and some philosophical things that make the new things happen. Yeah. That currently our Web2 is the centralized world with some big players, and we just want to get back to the root how the web was designed and how the web was made, that you have a lot of independent self-hosted players that control their data and so on, based on the protocol that are open to for the exchange of the data. And back then to 90s or whatever, you was able to spin off your mail server to host your pages, make them available to the people, and you don't need to have some big brother that actually allow you to do something in the web. And the main idea of the Web3 that it's decentralized, democratized society that somehow give you back the control on your data and make this data understandable and available not only to you, but give some semantics to make this data understandable to the machines in IoT and all other spaces that we currently discover. And and the big, huge topic in the Web3 that we try to solve in Affinity for a couple of years, it's actually the identity of the user and the possibility of the user to control their own data. And here we have the self-sovereign identity concept that's already in a market and with some concrete specifications, the standards and ideas how we could evolve, and it's built around the TADs and VCs, and it was never designed or let's say advertised as a super new web whatever standard. And what we have in a Web5 and the proposal of the TBD, I was surprised because it's exactly this. So it's exactly the SSI. They have the SSI SDK that for my big surprise was made on Go. It's super cool because it's performant, but it's not fitting to my head. The interoperability, not even interoperability, no, it's the wrong term. Our SDK, for example, made on the TypeScript and JavaScript, and if you want, you could build the application on browser, you could build the application on hybrid mobile, you could build the application on the server side, and we made the next step. It's exactly how everybody described Web5, that you could use the hybrid of Web2 and Web3 solutions. So we wrap our SDK, put it on cloud, and you have the custodial wallet that allows you to work with your verifiable credentials on behalf of the user somewhere in a cloud, and then you just have the REST service that you could integrate with this REST service on any kind of language, whatever you prefer. We never call it Web5 or Web6 or Web8. It's just a custodial wallet, quite common concept in the SSI world. So we give you the possibility to use just REST service in the cloud, or you could build the H-side wallets on your mobile, that everything is stored on mobile and you not expose anything to the public. And for example, we really take care that even if we store any kind of VC data on behalf of you, encryption happens on the client side, not on the server side. And for us, it's just some magic array of bytes that we not able even to interact or get any meaning from it, because the private keys always stored on your side. But what we have in a Web5 proposal from the TBD, it's the SSI case. So the SSI SDK built on top of a couple of uh, open specifications like Exchange 2.0. That's quite raw right now, and not so much people implement this Exchange protocol. The DIDs, for sure, they use the DID ION. So if you haven't looked my previous video about the site tree, just take a look, because ION is exactly the site tree, but heavily built on Bitcoin. By the way, all this TBD proposal, it's Bitcoin obsessed, and this part I don't understand, because Bitcoin actually doesn't support the smart contracts and smart applications. It's not the cheapest blockchain. And what concerned me really, that DION is the Bitcoin, and the guys invent something like distributed web nodes to make the distributed storage for the user, and with some complex messaging on top. But all this somehow try to mimic and replace the smart contracts, that you already have the storage, you already have the messaging interfaces and so on. Affinity, by the way, have the messaging interfaces as a REST service, so you could exchange the messages between the different DITs and communicate with different people, completely decentralized. By the way, you could take a look what we did, and it's much simpler. But getting back to the Web5 topic, so you have the DIDs that are currently the DID ION. You have the concept of the decentralized web nodes, so it's yet another specification on DEF, but on practice it's just a distributed personal storage, and it's achievable. So it's the layer on top of IPFS. So at the bottom we have the IPFS, and then we have the huge protocol on top that allow us to exchange the messages and keep the data. I would say that it's not the easiest one, and I see that here people try to solve some problems that will not exist if you will use any kind of blockchain that actually have the smart contracts and the distributed applications. But whatever, I will be honest with you, I do not see any kind of revolution or super new concepts. I just see different combinations of the SSI standards and libraries that gets together, and for me it's not fully clear what kind of use cases we solve with Web5. For me, it's not the combination of Web 2 and Web 3. For me, it's yet another proposal of using the SSI standards, and that's it. So I still believe that it's worth to take a look, try, reverse engineer, understand how it's work. But on market, you already have maybe not so well advertised solutions that actually solve the same thing and give you much better flexibility. So yeah, for me it's nice that we have yet another player on the SSI space that get more advertisement and all other things. Is super cool, because every time when somebody gets to the ecosystem, it's help to develop the ecosystem. But I don't understand the hype, because for me it's nothing new. It's something that we do already for the 3 years, and so I don't see this Web5 as a thing. For me, it's just yet another SSI. And if you want to know more, or you want to have some deeper details, just subscribe to my channel, ask the questions, share your impression, put the likes for sure if you like our video, and let me know what you think about the Web5 topic. So see you.